Hello and welcome to Kaiju Review.
Earlier this year we completed the Gamezillong trilogy.
Today we'll be finishing up another trilogy.
That's right, today we're covering the Rebirth of Mothra 3.
Let's see how it stacks up to the other two.
Let's see, yes. On Infant Island, Belvira uses a key to open a box containing something.
Wisdom, courage, love.
Well, actually, the third Triforce's power.
This isn't the Legend of Zelda.
Her sisters confront her, but them all being on the edge of the circle in the box causes 3 triangles to be released. I told you it was the Triforce!
Shutting up.
Belvira grabs the triangles and mounts Garu Garu, mentioning the Elias Triangle.
Aha!
Shutting up. The Elias Triangle holds a mysterious power that protects from disaster, and its location is a mystery.
So the triangles aren't the Elias triangles. So we'll still just call it the Triforce.
This scene is taking way too long to get through. Belvira escapes on Garu Garu, but Fairy attacks, causing her to drop 2 of the Triforce. She tells her sisters to keep them as she flies off, and mentions the King of Terror.
Maul tries to fit her Triforce of Courage into her dagger she has, but it doesn't fit, and she asks Lal to give her the Triforce of Wisdom, which does fit, turning her dagger into a sword. The Triforce of Courage doesn't fit in Lal's dagger, meaning that Belvira has the Triforce of Love that does fit in Lal's dagger. Maul is worried about the King of Terror that Belvira mentioned.
King of Terror? What's that? A meteor breaks up in the atmosphere, and pieces of it are spotted by a guy driving down the road. 3 children, Shuhei, Tomako, and their older brother Shota, are sitting around when their mom asks Shota to try a dish she's making, and he helps her perfect her recipe. Their dad, the guy driving earlier, returns home, and he tells them of the shooting stars. When a piece lands in Aoki Forest, a small tremor is felt, and the meteorite glows, causing strange phenomena.
A meteor glowing, causing strange phenomenons in a Toho movie. Is this King Ghidorah?
Nah. They already used him in the first Rebirth of Mothra.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
The next morning, as everyone prepares to leave for the day, Shota gives them their lunches, and Dad tells him that he's home. Shota will go back to school someday. Outside, the family wonders why Shota doesn't go to school, and we never really get a reason as why. Before leaving, Mother tells Shota to stay away from Aoki Forest.
What's in the forest, Mom? The Elias and Fairy arrive at Aoki Forest to investigate the meteorite, which isn't really a meteorite, it's a living fossil, but it's also like crude oil.
The different languages for the movie get confused on what's really going on.
Fairy tells the Elias that has something to do with the dinosaurs, which further confuses them as the dinosaurs died millions of years ago, making them wonder why it's on Earth now. Mole suspects that it killed the dinosaurs, left, and then returned.
As children sing at school, a tremor is felt and a dark cloud appears, scaring the children and their teacher, and a silhouette flies by.
That's definitely...
Yep.
But you said...
I'm just as confused as you are.
The kids disappear from the classroom, leaving the teacher and Belvira behind. Belvira speaks the name of the creature, King Ghidorah.
Well, I guess technically the one in the first movie is Des Ghidorah.
But that does not change the fact that they're running out of opponents for Leo to fight.
Also, despite the fact that Ghidorah is kidnapping children in this movie, we're going to avoid the obvious jokes.
Gotta keep this channel PG.
Elsewhere, King Ghidorah kidnaps children while they play soccer.
As news reporters are denied access to the meteor impact site, Shota sneaks into Aoki Forest. Meanwhile, the Elliot's pursue King Ghidorah, realizing what the creature is, and notice that there are no children around, and decide they must call Mothra Leo. King Ghidorah descends upon the town, scaring the people and generally wrecking up the joint.
Meanwhile, Shota is exploring a cave. Before deciding to leave, he finds the giant pulsating orb which the kidnapped children are winding up. The inner lining of the orb destroys a soccer ball, showing that the kids can escape. King Ghidorah then returns and just to kind of look at the children he's captured.
Still not gonna make the joke.
Then Leo shows up and he attacks King Ghidorah from behind, and the two monsters get into a fight. King Ghidorah stomps Leo pretty easily, and then kicks him while he's down. The Elias try to distract the three-headed monster, but then he glares at them, then blasts Leo out of the sky, knocking the Elias and fairy down to the forest. Laura then tries to strangle Mole, revealing that the glare was hypnotic. King Ghidorah then leaves to snatch more children.
Would anyone please think of the children?
As children are being evacuated, Shuei searches for Tamako, and though he finds her, King Ghidorah whisks all the children away. Belvira arrives at the pulsing orb and decides to stay away from it. Then she's attacked by tentacles and dragged into the pulsing orb.
Shota spots his siblings in the orb, and his tentacles creep up on him. He's saved by Mull. Mull tells Shota that King Ghidorah kidnapped the kids and plans to...
Don't say it.
Kill them.
Oh. Never mind.
It turns out Laura's in the orb as well.
Mother and father are concerned for their children, and they ask their teacher where they are. The news reports on the orb in Aoki Forest appears to be connected to the missing children.
But we already knew that.
But the parents did.
Touche.
Father realizes that Shota knows how to get to the orb because of his cave explorings.
Mull explains that Laura was a good person, which somehow explains how she got taken advantage of. And now that they are separated, Leo is weakened.
Does this mean if Belvira joins forces with them, Leo will become stronger?
Jumping the gun a bit with the plot there.
Shota leads Mull through the cave, which he's explored numerous times when he wanted to be alone. Shota asks Mull about her other sister, and they soon find Leo resting outside the cave. Shota approaches Leo and is amazed by the experience. The parents return home to find Shota missing and realize that he went to the forest.
Belvira tries to repair Garu Garu when Laura shows up. Belvira tries to tell her sister what she knows about the place and King Ghidorah's plan, but Laura, still hypnotized, and steals the Triforce of Love from Belvira, turning her dagger into a sword and attacks her. Belvira tries to defend herself with her dagger, but it doesn't go very well.
Little tiny lady battles! We'll make millions!
As the parents head to Aoki Forest to search for Shota, Dubfather casually mentions child abuse.
Seriously, the dub has the father saying she should have used the belt on the boy.
The subs just have him say that kids like adventure.
They find Shota's bike and assume the worst. Father goes to explore the caves in search of Shota, telling Mother not to leave that spot. She then ignores his orders and follows him, so they both go into the cave.
King Ghidorah returns to the city for another round of kidnapping and causing more destruction. Maul sees King Ghidorah approaching. Leo tells them that the only way to stop King Ghidorah is to time travel back to when the three-headed monster first came to Earth.
Wait, Leo can time travel?
You know, Leo's roars sound like something from Earthbound, a game in which the protagonists have to travel back in time to stop an evil alien named Gygus.
When did this game come out?
Before this movie.
They're ripping it off!
Maul thinks it's a bad idea because even back then Ghidorah was powerful. Without Leo is still weakened. Leo still decides to go even though he won't be able to return from the past.
Mole sings to give Leo the power to go 88 miles per hour, and she collapses from the power drain. She asks to be taken to the pulsating orb to save Laura so they can help Leo. Shota admits he's afraid to go to school, though he doesn't explain why he's afraid. Mole gives Shota her sword before crystallizing.
Meanwhile, millions of years ago...
That's not how meanwhile works.
Apparently it's how it works in this movie.
Leo arrives in the past to confront Cretaceous King Ghidorah, who seems some dinosaurs look nothing like Jurassic Park. Back in the present, Belvira is restrained by a deactivated Garu with the Triforce of Courage nearby. The parents have made it through the cave and spot King Ghidorah, who returns to the pulsating orb to look at the children more. Shota sneaks around with Fairy and taunts the three-headed monster into kidnapping him as well. He gets sucked into the orb, searching for his siblings. Laurel sees the digestive liquid begins to fill the chamber.
Back in the Cretaceous period, King Ghidorah shows up and eats a T-Rex. He then tries to eat a Triceratops, but Leo attacks him and the two begin to fight in earnest. Back in the present, Shota can somehow tell that Leo's attacks in the past are affecting Ghidorah in the present. Ghidorah knocks Leo down and blasts him with fireballs, but Leo gets back up and retaliates, clawing and headbutting. Ghidorah knocks Leo down again and begins chasing him.
Geez, how strong is this thing?
It's King Ghidorah.
Fair point.
Back in the present, now the blue pulsating orb rumbles as the children scream and Shota finds Laura. Laura threatens Shota with her sword, even Belvira pleads for her to stop. He reveals that Maul has died and that she told him that Laura loves children. This snaps her out of the trance and two tiny swords become one big long sword. Belvira frees herself.
Wait, why didn't she do that earlier?
Maybe she didn't think that far ahead.
And adds the Triforce of Courage into the dagger, adds it to the other swords, testing the blade's power.
The battle in the past continues, with Leo severing one of King Ghidorah's tails, which knocks present Ghidorah on his back. The severed tail then burrows underground. Belvira attacks the interior of the pulsating orb, and past Ghidorah shoots Leo in the back, with Leo narrowly avoiding being stomped again. Ghidorah tears Leo's wings and blasts him at point blank. Ghidorah then blasts the incapacitated Leo repeatedly.
With Laura now recovered and she begins singing to grant Leo power in the past, allowing him to dodge another barrage of fireballs. Leo then showers Ghidorah with silk, then drags the three-headed monster into an erupting volcano while the kids in the present try working together to break free from the pulsating orb. King Ghidorah then tries to eat the children, but then ceases to exist.
Scooty Puff Jr.'s son!
With the children now freed from the pulsating orb, the parents find them all cheering. Shota finds his siblings. With the battle over, Leo collapses in exhaustion. Several primitive Mothra larvae show up and begin to wrap Leo in a cocoon.
We've never seen an adult Mothra in a cocoon.
That's because adult moths don't cocoon themselves. They don't need to. They're already adults.
Wonder what's gonna happen.
Laura and Belvira find Maul. Belvira then contemplates the triporal paradox that this movie creates, then a second King Ghidorah appears.
Huh?
Remember that severed tail that burrowed into the ground?
Yeah? Wait, King Ghidorah regenerated from a tail?
Yep.
With Leo gone forever due to time travel, Ghidorah too begins picking up where his father left off, terrorizing and kidnapping children once again. Belvira convinces Laurel that they need to work together to fight King Ghidorah. But they really do little aside from fly around the monster a bit and then fly into its mouth.
Why?
A tremor occurs, uncovering the now ancient cocoon, and Leo emerges as Rainbow Mothra. Turns out the Elias didn't fly into Ghidorah's mouth because they get knocked down just as Rainbow Mothra arrives. The giant moth battles against the three-headed monster once again for the first time, clipping its wing and tackling it to the ground. Ghidorah gets back up, but this time Rainbow Mothra severs his wing completely. But Ghidorah is somehow still able to hover. Rainbow Mothra then recreates his favorite scene from Dragon Ball. Ghidorah then explodes.
With the battle over, Rainbow Mothra sheds her armor, and with the Elias Triangle, Mothra's power mole is restored to life. Bavera parts ways with her sisters, and all the parents rush to their returning children. Shota and his family return, and the Elias fly back to Infant Island with Rainbow Mothra.
That was Rebirth of Mothra 3. Good movie. I liked it.
It is a good movie, and a solid finish to the trilogy.
The design for Rainbow Mothra looked cool.
Don't forget that Cretaceous King Ghidorah also looked cool.
The story was great.
Yeah, it was, though less meaningful than the other two.
So you think that they'll be making more Mothra movies?
Well, we still have 2 more Mothra months before we run out, so maybe.
Now it's time to bring this episode of Kaiju Review to an end.
Bye!